This is an urgent appeal from the Disasters Emergency Committee. Hundreds of thousands of people have fled their homes to escape conflict in Ukraine, leaving jobs, belongings and loved ones behind. They need shelter, food and water. You can help. To donate online, search DEC or text radio to 70150 to give £10. Thank you.
Streaming 24/7, this is Brum Radio.
Thank you for downloading this Brum Radio podcast. For more podcasts, visit brumradio.com.
I'm Dave Massey. I am down at Birmingham Rep and I am joined by a group of actors. I am joined by Daniel, Liyah, Jerome and Kudzai, who are playing the Pevensie children, but they're all grown-ups, playing the Pevensie children in The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, which is at Birmingham Rep until the 28th of January. I'm going to go around you guys and get you to introduce yourselves and the characters you play, and obviously Peter, you get the starter.
Yay. I'm Daniel Apea and I play Peter Pevensie.
Hi, I'm Liyah Summers and I play Susan.
Hey, I'm Jerome Scott and I play Edmund.
I'm Kudzai Mangombe and I play Lucy.
I'd like you to then tell me a little bit about... Firstly, I'm going to say this again. I know I just said it. I really loved this production when I came to review it. I gave it 5 stars, which was brilliant. And I gave it 5 stars. I'd seen this on tour before when it came to the Alexandra Theatre. And I have seen productions of The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe previously in previous years, and I was really excited that this was coming, and then to see it portrayed and demonstrated in this way is just wonderful, because it feels like you're all a bunch of travelling troubadours going from city to city. Even though you're here for like 8-10 weeks, it feels like you're coming out and telling the story as though a folk story. And my favourite bit, as I said a moment ago, was when there's rough and tumble on the stage and you guys are fighting like a real family, and there's that element of that you have to be careful as actors, but if you get bruises, it's kind of in character that you're getting bruises from that as well. What was your first introductions to this, to The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe? Did you see a film? Did you see a play? Did you read a book? I'm going to start with Daniel.
Mine was, because I say this all the time, I was in Ghana, so I think I missed the whole trend of Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. Yeah. But I came back and I was saying to kids, I heard people talking about Turkish delight and a line and stuff like that. So when I saw the edition come through, I knew kind of vaguely what it was about. But my first proper introduction was reading the book after I found out I had got it, just a whole thing to see what like the really story was, so I can, feel it.
So you'd not read this as a kid before?
No, never. I read it as like a 21-year-old for the first time, and still it felt like as magical as you would expect it to be when you're reading it as 10. You know what I mean?
And there's quite a lot of grown-up themes in it then as well that you notice as an adult reading it for the first time. What sort of things did you notice?
Well, adult themes, all grown-up themes, I guess, or weighty, I'd say, is kind of family dynamic and how you navigate that, because that translates to so many different people, how you feel in an environment you're meant to be safe in, then move into an actual environment that you're not. So I feel like that's my main adult theme, I'd say. Yeah.
Liyah, what was your takeaway from reading it or watching it or performing in it? What was your first thing?
So my mum got me the box set of books like one Christmas. Okay. I reckon I was like 8, and I remember actually we drove to Wales for just like a random holiday, and she played the audiobook in the car for like me and my brother and sister, and I hadn't actually read the books yet, but once I heard The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe audiobook, I was like, I'm gonna go back and read the books now. And I didn't read all of them. I think I read like the first 4, but I really loved them at the time.
Was it like a 3-hour version or a 10-hour version?
No, it was like 3 hours, because it was only took the car journey.
There's versions where they read every single word in the book.
Single word. Yeah. No, I think this was designed for kids with short attention span.
Jerome, how about yourself?
So my first introduction to The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe was the film. When did it come out? 2005? Yeah, that was my first introduction. And growing up as a kid, I've loved magic. So seeing like a witch, I was like, yeah, this is me. Seeing a talking lion, I said, yeah, this is a bit of me. And yeah, I've never read the books, even though Liyah gave me the book to read it. I didn't read the book. So yeah, it was the film for me. The film.
And yourself? What was it?
I watched the film with my mum in the cinema. We went to watch King Kong, and then afterwards we watched Lion, Witch and the Wardrobe. And then every year since then, I've just watched Narnia. I'm obsessed with it. Obsessed.
So it's a proper tradition for you to do that?
Yeah, no, I watch it like twice. Maybe 3 times, and my brother gets sick and tired of me watching it. He's like, again? And I'm like, Prince Caspian, again? And I'm like, the last one. So I love the films. I love the films.
And when my next thing was about seeing you guys in different productions. I've seen these guys on this side of the table in different productions. I've seen Liyah, I've seen you in the Christmas Carol, which is at the RSC last year. What's it like going from one huge Christmas classic to another huge Christmas classic?
They're both huge. I think what's similar is that the following, and it's like when people see it, they've got their own experience of when they first read the book or saw the film, and like it's just so nice to hear like how people have found it seeing that on stage. So that's really nice. But then also having like such a classic story, but being able to like put your own stamp on it, your own spin, and obviously take a deep dive when you're studying the scripts. You get to see things you never saw when you watched the film or read the book. So that's really nice.
And Jerome, you were on the stage here for Constructed a couple of years ago. This is your home theatre. Yes. Do you see it as that, or do you see Birmingham as being your home theatres?
Yeah, 100%. Like, I was born and raised here for a lot of my life, so coming back to perform, I was like, I'm coming back home to perform on the stage where I've touched before, but now I'm really coming like with a big production, and that's full of magic and things that I enjoy. So to be here is like, yeah, we're home, we're back, it's happening.
Has any of you guys been in Birmingham before? Is this your
First time.
What a shame. Welcome.
I'd been here for like a week,
Yeah.
With a touring production, but it went so fast I didn't get to see any of it, so it's nice to proper experience it this time.
So Jerome, have you been having to explain what is going on outside every single time something else gets added to this mess out here?
Yes, I have, and sometimes I'm like, what's going on myself? 'Cause I live in London now, so when I come back I'm like, oh yeah, we have this here. And the German mark, yeah, it's happening. So, yeah.
Because they're still adding things to it. And we're you know, we haven't even hit the end of November as we're doing the pre-record for this, and there's a big wheel outside, and then there's like a slingshot thing which is quite scary. I'm sure you've seen that when you come out, and there's people screaming when they're on it as well. And then there's the ice rink as well out here as well, but they still add little random things to it, and I forget each year that the things come out. They're like a procession of things that appear. So are you then having to show around your city to the rest of your castmates?
Yeah, and I'm having to show myself again. Like I said, I live in London now, so when I come back I'm like, oh yeah, that's here. I'm like, what's this? This is new.
Yeah.
And just the city is forever changing.
We're quite happy demolishing things, aren't we?
Yeah, we are.
Very happy demolishing things. Like there's outside of here, there's a huge hole in the ground where there was buildings before as well, and there's supposed to be some brand new buildings coming here, and every time I come to this theatre I look around and I see the landscape has been different every single time, so it's wonderful just to be down here seeing these productions. What's it like telling classic stories versus telling brand new stories when you're putting your stamp on these characters, and what's it like seeing established characters like that as well?
Well, for me, this is my first like professional show.
That's why I came to you first.
You said I know. So having just left drama school, we did a lot of like, especially in third year, because we did this thing where it's like plays written based on our year. So I was kind of like lavished in the term of having new writing done. So this is my first ever classical thing done before, do it again type thing. So it's been a different process. It's been finding freedom in different ways and frigidness in different ways that I think you both need to make a concrete character. But I don't know, I'm enjoying it so far. I will do it again,
Brilliant. Kudzai, how about yourself?
There's a baby amount of pressure in a weird way, because like these are beloved characters, whereas when it's new writing, it's like it's your version of the character. So there's a bit of pressure to get it right, and you don't want to like destroy the magic behind the character. But then when you have like the audience reaction to the character, and then you hear what they have to say, and you have people called Lucy come up to you and be like, oh, I'm called Lucy, so it meant so much, it takes the pressure off slightly, because then you go, okay, you know what, I am doing a good job of this version of the character that is mine. So there's a bit of pressure, but overall it's different. I think I love new writing because there's so much more play that you can have, but then with classical characters, it's like, what's my version of this iconic character? So it's a new world, and it's fun, but also there's a bit of pressure.
People do call their kids based on the names of these characters, which that must be weird. Yeah, I hadn't really thought about that. I think it's fantastic to have people, be taking on legacy like this, and particularly a story that's already like 70 years old, because you've got like grandparents that have seen it when they were, or read about it when they were kids. Like it was a book that came out when my dad was a kid, and that's just the weirdest situation to be in. What's your favourite moment from this production, and what do you reckon audiences that haven't seen it should look out for? So you're going to have
the keeper scene, because we're all together, and I feel like there's a moment of like our dynamic and relationship. Any scenes with the Pevensies I really love, because I feel like you get to see our relationship, even like the moment when we first enter the professor's house, and it's just us on stage. I feel like you get a sense of the dynamic. I really love our scenes. Selfish.
Kind of like same thing as that. I think my favorite scene to do is the start. It's after we've just read our names, and we put our suitcases down. Then you've got Lucy asking how far. I was like, you're like, no, it's in Scotland. And then Edmund is opening up sweets. I'm like, oh, it's Cher. And you're like, I know that. It's like it feels very familial and familiar as well. But in terms of like favorite moment of being on the show, oh my days, it was that lovely woman that was here at the start, at the end actually of the show, and we were in the front of house. And she saw us. Tell me you remember that she saw us, and she was like, oh my God, pictures. I was like, that's adorable to see the magic in like a grown woman. That felt great. That's my favourite moment that's come out of this so far, I think.
I think that's wonderful to have an experience like that, because, as I say, people do love these characters so much, and they want to see you embody them as much as you possibly can as well. Have you got a favourite moment?
I do. It's actually a moment I'm not in, but it's when Edmund meets the witch for the first time. I just think it's so amazing. The music is so cool. The spectacle on stage. There's just so much going on. That's something I would say to look out for. It gives me like goosebumps every time. Like I get into it every time.
And Jerome, I'm coming to you last for this, because you've got some weird moments on stage. You have a Turkish Delight fever dream, and you also get dragged around on a forklift truck on stage. So, do you have different moments compared to these guys?
That last moment that you just mentioned is one of my favourite moments, because I remember in the rehearsal room, it was like, so yeah, you get lifted up on the jib and you have to go round, and in the rehearsal room we were using something that isn't the jib. So when we got to stage, and I was like, yeah, man, we had a little... I remember the evening that we had like a little tester on it, but all I did was stand on it and go up. And then so when we were on stage in tech and they said, yeah, now's the time, I said, wow. Because I didn't know it would spin round as well, and it span round. And I've got Turkish light in one hand and I'm holding on with the other. I said, ooh! But what my favourite moments in the show are the magic moments, because hearing the audience reaction from them when you know what the secret is behind the magic, and the audience is just like, wow, how did that happen? And then you try to compose yourself because you're like, I know how it happened, but their response is also making you laugh. But yeah, there's little magic moments, and then running behind stage to make sure something actually worked, because it's like, did we put that on right? Is that working? Yes, he made it out, it's happening. I won't disclose what those moments are. You'll have to come see the show. But those magic moments, the audience can't see, but we run behind the stage and we're like, oh, is it working? Is it happening? Yes, it's working. And then it's like, oh damn, we've got to get back on stage for our next moment.
Even having seen that on tour before when it was at the Alexandra, I then forgot, and then characters vanish, and you're like, where did they go? And then I'm like, were they there a moment ago? So there is that moment of you feel surprised by magical moments on the stage as well. I think that's wonderful. What do you think audiences should look out for as a moment that they enjoy the most, or should they? Because there's times where people might be looking at one part of the stage and something that they're supposed to be watching is happening elsewhere on the stage. This theatre is amazing because there's no bad seats. You can see every single see every single seat. And I've sat in a lot of seats in this theatre. I'm very lucky to have seen productions in there, and you're on one side or the other. There's not bad seats at all in this theatre. So what should an audience look out for, do you think, as a special moment?
Ooh, it's hard to say without disclosing any of the magic, like how it works.
Whereabouts in the show? Early, do you think, or later in the show?
Oh, second half. I feel like the second half is the magic half. The second half is the magic and combat half for real. But I'd say there's. I'm gonna say it so loosely. There's switcheroos that happen that I'm like, you gotta find that and look at that because who said it? I think you said it here in the audience. It was that opening night that we did it, and someone shouted, "What? Yeah, how did that happen?" Someone literally shouted. We tried so hard to keep composure in this dramatic scene, but I'd say keep your eyes out for the switcheroos. Is what I'd say.
Have you got any other ones that you'd have to look out for? Because I know that you like these magic moments on the stage, and I think they are fantastic as well. There's just elements to it where I just. Can you see far into the audience, or can you just see like the first couple of rows? How far?
First couple of rows, and a little bit at the top.
Yeah,
but I don't feel like. Do you look out quite a bit? Because I don't feel like we have many moments where we're like, look where
apart from the starting
the
scene,
beginning.
where that's the only time I look out and I'm like, ooh.
The moment that I'm on the jib and the moment that
you get to see everyone.
I can see everyone.
Actually, when we fly and get on the jib.
So the moment that I know that you all do look out is when you become the narrators of the show. And that is a really special moment, because when we're talking about transformative moments, there's a moment where you look at and you start delivering your narration for what's happened and to show time as progressing. I'm not going to give any spoilers either, but you do that and you become the owners of the show. The show isn't happening to you. You're like, this is our show, actually. Thank you very much. And that is just really special to me, because it shows how your characters grow really easily, and even now it's just made me go, oh, that's brilliant moment. Thank you guys for coming to do this production in Birmingham, and thank you for sharing about it as well. You can find tickets to see The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe at Birmingham Rep. I've got my dates in front of me. To see Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe at Birmingham Rep. It's on until the 28th of January, and it's at birmingham-rep.co.uk. Check out the details there and you will see tickets for performances. There's some matinees a few days a week, and there's also some evening performances as well. Guys, thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to this Brum Radio podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and rate us on your podcast app.